Ladies and gentlemen, greetings and welcome to a new lore chapter when we go in depth about legends, myths, and background. I'm your host, Zelrix, and today we're talking about monsters, but not any monsters. You see, when we talk about mythical creatures, we have what I like to call the holy trinity of classic monsters: werewolves, vampires, and ghosts. That's why today I'm taking you on a trip around the world to discover 3 legends that deserve more spotlight. Have you ever been wandering through a North American forest? Cold wind biting your skin, when all of a sudden you hear a roar. Not a human roar, but unlike any animals you've ever heard. You're a prey. You hear the creature following you, stalking you, ready to feast on your flesh. If so, you might be the target of the Hellish Wendigo. The Wendigo, or its plural Wendigo-wak, is a North American legend about cannibalism. Old Algonquian talks about a hunter that starves almost to death when he decides to hunt other human beings to satisfy his hunger on their flesh. By committing the ultimate taboo, which is cannibalism, the soul of a Native American became cursed, and the spirit of the Wendigo took over their bodies. They turned into a horrible creature, tall but skinny, strong but fast, and obviously through the different version of the legends, the appearance of a Wendigo can change, but some legends depict it as an advanced body in decomposition with deer antlers and cold, dead eyes. The legends say that the beast was as intelligent as a human being, but with the predator instinct of the wildest animal. But by far the most dangerous and terrifying power that lies into the Wendigo is what we call a Wendigo fever. This illness was known to drive human beings mad through physical pain and nightmares, running towards the forest at night and never coming back, probably becoming the ultimate prey of the Wendigo. The Wendigo is the personification of starvedness, cold, and winter. It brings snowstorm and darkness with it. Some legends even telling us that a Wendigo could make the night fall in the middle of the day. Luckily for us human beings, Wendigo-wak were not invincible. There was one way to kill them. You had to kill them with fire, melting their heart that was made of ice. This is the legend Native American told among themselves to prevent cannibalism from tribe to tribe. Cannibalism was a very touchy and taboo subject in Native American culture, and myths like myths of the Wendigo was one way to avoid people committing this ultimate taboo. Now that we've explored the dark forest of North America, let's see what hides in Asia. Japan is no stranger to interesting creature and deep lore mythology, and one of its most interesting monsters is the Kappa. Kappas are small creatures that lies through Japanese river and Japanese lake. Neither bad nor good, they are known to be still dangerous creatures. Barely the size of a human child, the Kappa is depicted as a green or blue creature with a turtle shell, scaly skin, a bird beak, and webbed finger ending with razor-sharp claws. They are also known to have some greasy hair around what traumatized me on their head. They have a hole in their skull where mystical water lies. This mystical water is the source of their force and power. In some myths, Kappas are known as little creature that likes to play pranks on humans, humiliating them for a good laugh. Pretty mean, but nothing dangerous. Although, In some other legends, they're known to drag people in the river, drowning them to feast on their flesh and drink their blood. Unlike the Wendigo, they don't do that by instinct, they're pure cruelty. Some legends suggest the Kappas are a very intelligent creature, capable of functioning in a regular society, learning laws, rules, and even having a pretty impressive background when it comes to knowledge about medicine. I think we can all agree that a Kappa is a creature that we want on our good side and not our bad side. And for that, there are two pretty well-known solutions. First of all, you could take the time to fill their head with water. If you do so, the Kappa will be grateful, he will be polite with you, and he will do what you ask him to do. For a pretty similar result, for some reason, Kappas love cucumbers. The legend says that if you were to encounter a Kappa, give them a cucumber, and they will leave you alone and respect you. Those are also a way for you to ask the Kappa to share their great medical knowledge with you. What is interesting is that even though they are small creatures, Kappas were honorable warriors, very respected sumo warriors. If you were to encounter a Kappa, you could provoke him in a sumo duel, and when you would bow down to salute them, they would bow down to salute you by pure politeness. At this moment, the water in their head will fall down, ripping them of any strength or magic powers, long enough for you to run away. It is very unclear where the myth of the Kappa comes from, but we have some clues. First of all, that might be just a myth parents told their children for them not to go play near big body of water, thus preventing them from drowning. Another theory suggests that the myth of Kappa were born in Asia when people saw unknown creatures in lakes and thought they were monsters. Okay, interesting creature. Now, I wonder what can kill you in Europe. When we talk about dangerous European creature, we immediately think about monsters like the European dragon or the Greek mermaid. But if you were to go near Ireland, you could encounter the feared Banshee. The word Banshee comes from the Old Irish Banshee, that could roughly translate to woman from another world. In the old Gaelic folklores, banshees were known as a sign of death. If you were to encounter a banshee, that would generally mean that somebody was going to die in the next days. Banshee were also associated with high-ranked family in Ireland. The O'Connors, O'Tooles, O'Learys, O'Neills, O'Donnells, and O'Conniff were associated to the spirit of a woman that would manifest when one of them was near his final instant. Generally speaking, that woman was the ghost of a former member of the family that previously died. When the member of a family that had a banshee attuned to their name came near their final instant, the banshee came and make a visit to warn them about their inevitable death. To make themselves noticeable, the banshees are known to scream, cry, and yell. All through the Gaelic culture, there are some insane numbers of representation of the banshee myth, but the most popular is an old woman with snow white hair, dressed like she was going to a funeral. On the other side of the spectrum, you also have the representation of the banshee by a young, beautiful woman, but there is something unsettling about their appearance, something that makes you say she is not human. You don't know what it is, you just know that it is there. Although it is very unclear why someone would become a banshee after their death, some legend seems to accord the fact that it's either the result of a mistreated life if the woman has been violented or died due to a violent death, like a suicide or a murder, or turning into a banshee could be some kind of punishment for somebody who lived a bad life, who made bad decisions, who hurt people, and now has to pay for it by warning people about their death. But what makes a banshee a dangerous creature? Well, as mentioned, banshee have this characteristic scream to them. Just like their appearance, there is something unsettling about it. It's a human scream, but with something you can't quite identify. and that scream can be very dangerous, freezing your blood, resonating through your bones, and blowing up your eardrums. Whatever the Banshee scream's nature is, it was always associated with bad luck, because just the fact that somebody was to hear a Banshee scream meant somebody was going to die. Banshee also had the ability to turn into a crow in some legends, just like Morrigan, the Gaelic goddess of war, just like a Banshee. Some people might say that in Ireland, a crow is synonym of bad news. Although have been depicted the Banshee as a dangerous creature, some part of the legends say that the Banshee is a good spirit, somebody who is there to guide you through your death, to help you get past it, and acting as a bridge between our world and the afterlife. So today we've covered the Banshee, that is either good or bad depending on the legend, Kappa, that seems to be depicted as dangerous rather than evil, and then we have the Wendigo, who, just like Rachel from Friends, they're just pure evil and pure chaos. Tell me which one of those creatures was your favorite. I have a little soft spot for the Wendigo, to be honest. Subscribe and activate the bell to be sure to be notified where a new video comes out. Go to my Instagram just to support my artwork at Azulrex Digital Artist. It's always super appreciated. And remember that in every legend there is a part of truth.